Hello friends, welcome to Awdhesh Academy. Friends, in the recent times, we have seen many cases where refugees are coming to our country and many other countries, and there is a very negative attitude of our citizens and our societies that we should not allow them shelter in our country. But whether it is the right thing to do, this is a great ethical question. So on this, a question was asked, and today we are going to discuss this question of UPSC 2021. The question was as following: refugees should not be turned back to the country where they would face prosecution or human rights violation. Examine the statement with reference to the ethical dimension being violated by the nations claiming to be democratic with an open society. So this is a very pertinent and a current affair related questions pertaining to ethics paper. Now we have to have an international context of this, and at the same time at the national level also we have to show the relevance of this particular question. Friends, let's write the answer of this question. Now here we can first talk about the international obligations in this regard. According to the principle of non-refoulement under international human rights laws, every country must protect the refugees when there are substantial ground for believing that the person would be at risk of irreparable harm upon return, including persecution, torture, ill treatment, or other serious human rights violation. So, we live in the international community and we have to respect the international human rights laws. And therefore, it makes us obligatory that we must protect the refugees. But even if suppose there is no international human rights laws, still the protection of refugees' right is justified on the humanitarian ground and also on the ground of customary law. Because, when somebody comes to our house as a guest, don't we give protection to that person? In the same way, if one human being is in trouble, should we not help that human being? And therefore, it is even customary law, and even by a humanitarian ground, we must protect the refugees. We must understand that every human being has a right to life and liberty and the opportunity to realize one's full potential. And therefore, turning back the refugees is a violation of their human rights, and that is what we should never do. Now, what has been the behavior of many democratic countries? We have seen that in the recent past, many countries are basically refusing to fulfill their moral responsibilities of giving shelter to the refugees. They are often very selective in treating refugees because they protect on one side the people of a particular race or religion or nationality, but at the same time they often refuse the similar protection to other people. For example, we have seen that in the Citizen Amendment Act, there has been selective protection or grant of citizen on the basis of the religion, and this is much more common in other countries. While yes, there can be reasons and we can justify that on our national interest, but at the same time we should always respect the human protection and human relationships. So such type of discrimination is unethical. It is also a violation of the categorical imperative, which requires that we must use the ethical principles universally. Such type of actions also show a decline in human values like kindness, empathy, and compassion in the society. So finally we can say that all civilized democratic countries must help the refugees and overcome the humanitarian crisis to best of their abilities. So in this way we can write the answer of this particular question. Thank you very much.